Okay, so we have our Sakura pork belly that we got from America's Choice Gourmet. And I think this is gonna end up being a two-part video or two videos. We're gonna cut it in half. We're gonna use one half and try some homemade bacon, which I'm gonna cure with salt for 3 or 4 days. And then we're going to, I think, bake it in the oven at around 200 degrees until the internal temperature reads 150. And then we're also going to do some crispy pork belly, which hopefully tomorrow night we'll share with some family that's coming into town. So look for the homemade bacon video. I want to show you this beautiful pork belly. It's Sakura fat. Well, Sakura pork, and it has a very nice fat layer. Also, I just want to make the statement, this is somewhat of a disclaimer. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm going through this learning process, and I hope you go through it with me. You might want to make sure before you follow my recipe and make the same thing that I've at least posted 1 or 2 videos after this, and that I didn't die from that tetra whatever you get from eating uncooked pork. So, follow me. Okay, so I've taken our pork belly out of the packaging and I am patting it dry. I'm gonna cut this thing exactly in half. And like I said, we're gonna do the crispy. So what I've done is I went ahead and pre-made my marinade. And that marinade is 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1/3 cup of, it calls for rice wine, but I use vinegar, white wine, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and 2 cloves of garlic. So that's all in there already and all mixed up. Definitely has kind of an Asian zing to it. Smells really good, looks good. So let's cut this thing in half. So this thing's about 7 pounds. So that should make a lot of crispy pork belly and a lot of bacon. So cut it in half. Let's take a look. And well, I think that'll make good bacon. It's got good fat content or good crispy pockets of pork belly. Crispy. Okay, so we've got our pork belly cut. We've poured our marinade into the pan, and we're gonna let this sit we're gonna cover it with some press and seal because it's a good affordable cover. And we're gonna leave this in the refrigerator until tomorrow. Okay, cheers. It's Friday night. We're gonna do our pork belly bites. I have a Asheville Brewery Highland Gaelic Ale. Oh, and that's delicious. I've got an inch of water in a foil wrapped pan. I've got a full cup of Himalayan salt. So we're gonna take our rack, set it in here. We're gonna take our pork belly. It's been marinating, and look, you can see the marinade in the meat. That looks really good. We're gonna take that salt and we're gonna cover the entire thing and create a salt crust. So we've got the oven preheated at 350, and this salt, it is a lot of salt, is going to create a crust that will harden up. So we're gonna be at 350 for 40 minutes. This crust should break right off, and we'll show you the next steps.
That's why people call it trust the process.
That's right, Lena. Okay, so the pork belly has now been in the oven for 40 minutes at 350. Let's take a look at this crust. So you can see the pork belly starting to shrink up a little bit, but the meat looks really good. Look at the fat starting to render and the crust, the salt crust. So we're gonna peel all that off, get as much salt off as we can, and then it's gonna go back into the oven at 465, so we're increasing the heat for another 30 minutes, and then it's gonna be time to cut this thing up. Okay, so it's been in now for about 30 minutes at 465. Oh, look how nice and crusty that is. Oh, that's looking great. So now we're gonna transfer that to the cutting board and let it rest for a few minutes before we start to cut in. When we do cut it, we're going to cut into the grain, cut against the grain into bites. Okay, we're getting really close to making our pockets. We're going to use these. We got some Irish butter, melt in the pan. We're going to fry these up a little bit to make them crispy. They're going to be the perfect complement for our pork belly, which is cooked really nicely. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. So we'll cut those into pieces. Half. We're going to throw in a bowl and mix with some of this barbecue sauce. The other half we'll keep natural. We've got some goat cheese, and those will go in the little pockets. And we've got some berries if someone wants to kind of fruit it up a little bit. But yeah, I think we're in good shape here. Okay, so we're toasting up our little tostitos here in some Irish butter. You can see they're looking great. Got a couple of them done. I'm going to show you real quick what we're going to do with these. So over here we got our barbecue style pork belly. We got our natural style pork belly. And I love me some goat cheese. So we're going to take a little bit of this goat cheese. We're going to spread it in. We're going to put a couple of these nice crispy pieces of pork belly in there. And here's our pocket. This is good stuff.
Smells good and tastes good.
Sakura pork bellies. I can't wait for the bacon now. I'm getting really excited. Okay, so we got our barbecue and our crispy pork belly. I've got my Asheville beer. We've got Lolly, my beautiful mother-in-law. What are you trying there? The barbecue?
No, not the barbecue. The standard,
The
plain, crispy, with the goat cheese, which is delicious, and with this, it's very good.
We have Teresa, my beautiful sister-in-law. All right, Molly, my other beautiful sister-in-law.
This is absolutely fabulous. Thank you, David.
My daughter Lena. Here, we've all seen her.
Yep.
Which one's your favorite? Do you have a favorite yet?
I haven't tried the barbecue yet, but this is definitely delicious.
Scrumptious.
Delicious.
My beautiful bride Mandy.
I like the crispy. It's very salty.
Very salty.
Has a very crisp. It's not as crispy as I thought it was gonna be. But the barbecue is a little spicy. We should show. Did you show the kind of barbecue sauce that you used?
I did.
It's really good.
Yeah.
But I love the Hawaiian roll.
Okay, once again, the pockets. Barbecue's good. I think my favorite though is definitely the crispy with the goat cheese. Loving the pork belly. really excited about the bacon experiment we have going, so look for the homemade bacon video. Thanks again, John from America's Choice Gourmet, for providing me with another wonderful piece of meat.